Hey, what's up, Crypto Army? I'm Travis, your crypto newbie, bringing you my experiences so you don't have to learn things the hard way. Just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor, and none of my content should be viewed as financial advice. If you like what my content offers, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and turn on notifications to get notified when I publish new content. It really helps the channel grow, and more importantly, it really helps get the content to others that might invest in EverGrow Coin. I've never explained it that way, and I'm going to start saying it that way on this channel from now on because that's really what matters, is getting this information to other potential investors. Somebody that might like EverGrow Coin and say, hey, I want to invest in that. They contribute to the volume, they contribute to the price increasing, and they also contribute to rewards. And more importantly, they're probably going to get a lot of money just like we will in the long haul because we all believe in this project and we believe that the price is going to go up and the volume is going to continue to go up. Again, that's not financial advice, that's just my recommendation. And that's one of the things that Sam was talking about today as far as needing our help to get the information to other people. And how YouTube works is the more likes, the more subscribes, the more time you spend watching content like this and interacting with it through comments or even just the like button, the more people it pushes it to that might like the same stuff. So if you're watching YouTube, and this isn't just for my channel, I'm talking about all the YouTube content that's out there for EverGrow Coin. Subscribe to as many of them as you can, like their videos, even if you just watch it at 1.5 and put it on mute so you don't have to listen to it, it helps the YouTube algorithm. It only works though for people that actually watch crypto stuff. If you give it to somebody like your spouse or your kids and say, hey, watch this, you don't have to actually pay attention to it, that doesn't work. That actually confuses the YouTube algorithm. So if you or people that you know like watching crypto material, that's how you can help out with getting this information out there, is doing those things and supporting all the YouTube content that's out there. Same thing with Twitter content. So if there's a whole bunch of people that are constantly tweeting information about this, that's how those posts go viral, is it gets shared. It's constantly getting pushed out there. And I'm going to do a better job of sharing these videos on Twitter as well. I'm not sure if that's going to help or hurt, but I figure it's worth a shot and it's potentially going to get to more people. Again, I'm going to do that with all the projects that I cover. So if you like other projects, it works the same for all of them. The key thing is trying to get that engagement up on this content. It also goes over to the Galaxy score, which I use for my fundamental analysis, because that's just engagement. It's social engagement. But it gets all the content to more people. So that's one way you can support both the channel and the project, is to take that approach with YouTube content. And if you didn't know that, that's how that works. So when I'm inside of a project, I normally subscribe to as many of the content creators as I can. And I subscribe to other EverGrow content creators because, again, I wanted to get it to as many people as I can. And that's just how YouTube works. It gets the content and pushes it out to more people. So that's in everybody's best interest if you take that approach with the YouTube content and the Twitter stuff. So just food for thought. And again, it sounds kind of self-serving because I've got a YouTube channel, but that's just how it works. So if you really want this to get to more people, that's one way you can help get it to more people. And yes, it does help the YouTube content creators as well. But that's a benefit, because if I'm getting more subscribers because of this project or another project that I've got and that you've also got, that helps us both, right? So it should be obvious that it's good for YouTube content creators that are doing projects that you like to grow their channel. So if you didn't think about it like that, that's one way to look at it. Now let's jump into what Sam and the team were covering for the AMA today, because they had a lot of really good information. Now, I did skip one little thing. So the other thing you can do to get the information out there is buy the merchandise, buy the bumper stickers, buy the sweatshirts. Here's my EverGrow shirt right here. I got a nice sweatshirt. Now, full disclosure, this is not my favorite approach to a sweatshirt. This is what I got. I generally like to get the embroidered sweatshirts. This one, to me, in my opinion, is kind of a cheap spray-on paint that I think will probably wash off the first couple times I wash it. But it's still, I'm turned into a walking billboard for EverGrow Coin. It gets the information out there, which is good. And I do plan on trying to find a little bit higher quality one. Unfortunately, this is what I got, and I didn't see any of the ones that I was actually looking for, but it's a start. And that's another thing you can do as well, because someone sees it and asks you a question, hey, what is that? And then you can walk them through, hey, what is EverGrow Coin? And then you can navigate them to some of the good YouTube content that's out there to help them with the process of getting it if they're unfamiliar with how to buy crypto. So that's another option too. So what did Sam and the team talk about today? So the big thing is the obvious one, which is the EverGrow wallet coming out in Q2. Now they emphasized, Q2, that's potentially 6 months away, but they said that, yeah, it's also 3 months and a day. So I prefer that they talk in quarters over specific dates, because it's really hard to miss a quarter, especially if they think that they could get it done at the beginning of the second quarter. If they can't, it's still in the second quarter, and the community doesn't revolt when they miss a date. And there's not a huge sell-off when they miss a date. And I'm going to be completely honest, I kind of just wish it would just show up, not necessarily that there's a launch event or any advanced notice that it's coming, because what normally happens is people buy the rumor and sell the news. So if they say, okay, on this date, it's going to happen, what you'll see is a huge sell-off when it happens, because odds are it's not going to live up to expectations. And most often, minimum viable products don't. So there's a huge sell-off right after a huge buy-in. So it's almost better that they don't tell us the actual date, and it just kind of happens. That would be my recommendation, because it always happens. Doesn't matter which project you're talking about. No project launch lives up to the hype. So it's just better that they don't announce it. And I would prefer that. I would prefer to know it's a quarter, and sometime in that quarter, it just shows up. It generally works better. They are going to keep the name as EverGrow Coin Wallet or EverGrow Wallet, something along those lines, because the name actually attracts more holders. So there's some benefit in doing it that way, because it's in the App Store or in the Play Store as EverGrow Wallet. And people go look at EverGrow Wallet and it gets name exposure. So people go look, okay, maybe I'll buy that one also. Plus, if they make it easier to buy EverGrow Coin right in the wallet, it'll encourage people to buy that, especially if they like the features or they think it's better than other wallets that are out there. It's a good option to do it that way. There also is a strong argument for not doing it that way. And to be honest, I'm kind of divided on which approach. I've seen some other wallets, and I questioned whether they should just have a more generalized name. There's a concern that maybe they won't want to get it because they think it's specifically for that token. And I think that's just more of a marketing thing and a word of mouth thing. And if they add the right kinds of features, the name really isn't going to matter that much on getting people outside of the EverGrow community into it. But there are competing arguments for whether they should have the token as the name of the wallet or change it to something more generalized to attract more people. It really isn't clear which one's the better argument, to be honest with you. You'd have to do some market research to see what actually competes better. And I don't have the capabilities to do that kind of a study. So we're going to have to rely on the team to know what they're doing and to come up with the best plan for EverGrow Coin moving forward. And so far they've done that. So just assume that they are doing that. Some of the features that they're talking about integrating are the rewards dashboard, potentially bridges between cryptos, probably some sort of a Google extension where you can actually search, which is a pretty cool idea actually, because I have to leave the app all the time to go get the contract address, and it would just be more convenient if I could do all of that from the same app and not have to log in every time that I need to go back and forth. So I actually hope that they come up with that, because it would make things a little bit easier. And then also potentially crypto lending, maybe some sort of an auto investment for our rewards, which would be awesome. Now, I tend to go all over the place. It just depends on what I need to use the Binance-Pegged USD for. And then also potentially, if you do a regular purchase into tokens, the ability to schedule those. That seems like a very interesting idea, as long as you've got the money that's always going to be available and you always kind of invest in either the same project. They also mentioned that the direct buy of EverGrow Coin should be available before the wallet comes out, which is great. I'm really looking forward to that feature specifically, because you bypass some of those fees. So that's a really great feature to have, and it makes it really, really convenient and easy to buy EverGrow Coin, which should attract a lot of holders just because of the simplicity. Now, one thing they did do is they've hired a design company to basically develop across the EverGrow community platform or ecosystem, everything. And it sounds like they're doing everything from the wallets to the website, across the board, the entire ecosystem. It's an exclusive contract with the design company to develop all of that. So there's an understanding for Sam and the team that there's only so many of them and they can only be spread so thin. So they needed to outsource certain things, which I think that's a great idea because it allows the team to focus on the really important stuff while somebody else comes up with some of these designs. Sometimes you can get into decision paralysis because you have to make so many decisions on so many different things. And you don't necessarily need to do every single decision for every single thing. You need to make the big decisions. Let the experts do some of the design aspects. And then maybe you're picking between options and not coming up with every single color and every single font and every other aspect of the design. Let the experts do that across the board. And then maybe you select the best option or give them some left and right lateral limits on where to go next. And then you just make the big decision on option A or option B, or option A with this from option B. And keep it a little bit easier. That way you can focus on the big items. Making endless decisions can really wear you down after a little bit of time. So giving some of those decisions to the experts, it generally helps, at least with quality of life for the team. Now, they also said that the new website should come online in the next 48 to 72 hours. As you can see on my screen here, it's still not here. I was trying to hope that maybe it would come up today because it sounded like it was really just about done, but it's still not here. So hopefully in the next couple of days, we'll start to see that new website. And the big thing is that it sounds like there's going to be something on that website that's going to be really exciting that they haven't necessarily talked about. So we can expect an update from the team when the website comes out, just kind of explaining what that new capability or that new product is. I'm kind of curious to see what they've got coming because that sounds pretty exciting. Now, they also said that creators in limited beta testing already. No, I'm not beta testing it. It sounds like they're going with a couple of potentially, maybe EverGrow Paul is already using it. His name was mentioned. I would assume probably the next step would be Crypto Dreams, just because he does a lot of the content and he's been on the project probably the longest out of everybody. And then there are a couple other YouTubers that just have bigger audiences, so I could see some benefit in probably them getting exposure to it as well. But I have not gotten an email. I would be honored to beta test it, and that would be exciting to beta test it and try it out. But no, I have not, but I do plan on using it once it is available. Now, kind of exciting, they are in the works on contracting some really big influencers to use Creator exclusively. Now, that has the potential to get EverGrow Coin to a lot of people because some influencers, and I don't know who and I don't know how many people they've got, they could have potentially hundreds of thousands of people that they're already set up to send information to. So if they're using Creator to get that information out to potentially hundreds of thousands of people or even millions of people, that's huge. That's a lot of potential investors into EverGrow Coin. That's really exciting information for this project. Now, one of the last really big updates was exchanges. So you can expect another exchange potentially this week. So that was kind of exciting. So now remember, there hasn't been necessarily a lot of utility for this project yet, but they got a lot of stuff planned and it's only been 2 months. They've already got 110,000 holders and it's only been 2 months and they don't even have utility yet. So bear with them. The utility's coming. This project got a lot going for it, and hopefully you all can see that. But that's pretty much it from the AMA. Now, there were a couple other things in the AMA from the Q&A portion, but for the most part, it was all stuff we've already heard. Now, if you go check out the AMA, I did have some problems recording it. For some reason, my internet was really, really slow today, and I kept losing signal, and it finally kicked me out of it, and it took me a while to get back in there because I had actually reset the modem, and even then, I was going at about a quarter of what I should have had for speed on my internet service provider. So I've got a trouble ticket in with them. They're going to come take a look at it on Tuesday because I'm not getting anywhere near the speeds I'm supposed to for 1 gig service. I should never have buffering issues. It's not like I game or stream 4K or anything like that when I'm doing a live stream. So there's absolutely no reason I should ever have a buffering issue or have the lowest speeds I've got. So just be aware that today had a weird glitch. The entire first part of the AMA where they actually talk about what's coming up, that's available there. Part 2 covers some of the Q&A portion and it's there. And there wasn't any buffering issues once it got in there, but I did have some problems and there's a little bit of gap. So it's split up into two different AMAs, which some people might like because all the really big updates were in the first part, which is completely fine. There's no problems there. It's just on the second part. So I do apologize for that happening. I can't really control the technical aspect. I don't know if maybe my area just had a lot of stuff going on. I'm not sure, but I should have had enough bandwidth to do a live stream. And it's not like I'm traveling, or it wasn't like I was using a low-powered computer. It was just bad internet through Cox. And I think most of us that have had Cox before know that it's just not good internet service, unfortunately. But that's what I've got in this area. So unless I move to someplace else that has better, that's kind of what I'm stuck with. Let me know in the comments, what are you most excited about for EverGrow Coin? Is it Creator? Is it the NFT? Is it the gaming? I'm curious what you're interested in. What really drew you to this beyond just the Binance-Pegged USD reflections, which are awesome. But what about the utility are you most excited about? Leave that in the comments. I'm curious to hear what y'all think. Until next time, stay strong with those diamond hands.